Hiya, Jimmy.
Hello, Fingers. I was all ready to take a poke at the guy that was pushing me.
Here. How's hacking? I'm still praying for rain.
Oh, can't kick. Not when you're driving a regular like Mr. Clifton. I'm waiting for him now.
He works for them newspapers, don't he?
Yeah.
I've looked for his moniker, never seen it.
Ah, you don't read the society page. His name is Monsieur Brummel.
Monsieur Brummel?
Sure. See? Over the teacups with Monsieur Brummel.
Monsieur Brummel. Oh, I get it. That's French for Mr. Clifton. Glad I bumped into you, Jimmy. My conscience has been bothering me.
My watch. Gee, I thought I'd lost it.
You're easy. I lifted it out of your pocket last night.
Say, listen, Fingers. Didn't that little stretch you did up the river convince you crime don't pay?
Crime and me are strangers these days. You misunderstand me, Jimmy. It ain't picking pockets. It's the technique. That's what fascinates me. And in order to see that I ain't lost it, I gotta try it out once in a while on a friend like you.
To make sure you're the artist you used to be, huh?
Certainly. What's theory without practice?
Well, just make sure it's your friends.
I wouldn't do another real job, even if I was sure I wouldn't get caught. Jimmy, you're looking at a completely honest man. I got a new horn.
Yeah? What'd you get?
I lifted it I bought it. How do you like it?
Why don't you jack it up and put a new car in it?
I ain't finished paying this one off to you yet. But I'll slip you a hunk of dough tomorrow.
Cab?
We was just discussing whether it was or not.
I want to go to Holy Cross Cemetery. Do you know a shortcut?
Sure, suicide. Hop in. Oh, Jimmy. Thanks for the cigarettes.
Right here, Mr. Clifton.
The Parkway Arms, Jimmy.
Yes, sir. Say, I've been wondering, Mr. Clifton, how does a guy ever get to be a society editor?
Oh, it's just wished on you. I started out to be a police reporter. But the very first murder case I covered, I described the murderer's gown so well that I was shifted to the society page. And I've never been able to get off.
Well, don't you even get to cover football games?
Football? The sportiest thing I ever covered is a junior league dance. Right now, I'm on my way to Miss Edna Fletcher's to get the lowdown on her bridal gown. If you read my column, you know that she's going to marry Count Potowski.
Oh, rich dame, huh?
Rich? Oh, a couple of million. That's why I have to go and count the buttons on her dress. And is that exciting, I ask you? I'm cheating on you for the rest of the day, Jimmy. The Fletchers are putting one of their limousines at my disposal. Bribe money to make sure that I spell their name right and often.
How about tomorrow?
Oh, the regular time.
Yes, sir.
Hurry.
Hurry where?
Anywhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Beat that light, please.
Will you pay for the ticket?
Yes. Hurry.
Okay. Say, I gotta know where I'm going.
Anywhere. Just keep driving.
Okay, lady. If you want to make this a sightseeing tour, it's your party.
Can't you stop talking and go a little faster?
Say, listen, I'm driving faster than the law and safety will allow. If you don't like the way I'm driving, I'll pull over at the curb and you can get out.
Oh, you wouldn't do that. Can't you see I'm in a jam? That I need help.
Everybody about to be married needs help.
I'm not about to be married.
Oh, you just dressed for polo, huh?
Please keep driving and don't turn around so much. I told you to keep driving.
You told me you were in a jam, didn't you?
A terrible one.
And you want to make a getaway without anybody spotting you, don't you? Then you can't go around dressed like an Easter parade. Take off that hat. Go on, take it off. You better put this on.
Thanks. You're swell.
You think so?
I know so.
You do, huh?
Where do you think
We are now entering the Bronx. Famous for the Bronx subway. Where they pack you in like sardines so you can get home and eat your herring. Have you decided where you want to go?
If I knew, I'd tell you.
Oh, turn off the shower, will you? And let me in on what this is all about? If you come clean, I might be screwy enough to help you.
How can I explain things when I have to keep shouting at your back?
10,000 taxi drivers in New York, and you have to pick on me.
Can we get a cup of coffee somewhere?
Now listen, I'll drive you any place you want. But I'm not going social. Here we are.
I'm sorry, but I don't think I'll get out after all. Somebody might see me.
Sure, somebody might see you. Somebody's got to see you someday. You can't spend the rest of your life in a taxi cab. Oh, come on. Coffee John's a friend of mine. He'll keep his mouth shut. Well, when do I get the story of your life?
You've been awfully kind, and I...
That's the story of my life. What's your name?
My name?
Yeah, your name. You got a name, haven't you? Now, for instance, mine's Jimmy. Jimmy Donlin.
Well, mine's Edna Fletcher.
Edna Fletcher, huh? Miss or Mrs.? I mean, did the flight happen before or after?
Before.
You mean you left some poor guy waiting at the church?
I couldn't go through with it, Mr. Dolman. I had to do it. I guess it's pretty hard to make you understand.
I don't have to understand. Don't you think you're playing a pretty dirty trick on some poor guy?
It's easy to see you've never been an unhappy bride.
I never been any kind of a bride, lady. Hey, wait a minute. Edna Fletcher. You're the dame Mr. Clifton was telling me about.
Mr. Clifton?
Sure, you know Clifton, the society reporter. He said you were going to marry Count whatever his name is.
No, I'm not. I'm never going to marry him. That's why I'm running away.
Oh.
I don't love him, and I'm not going to marry any man I don't love.
Then why did you fall for him?
I didn't fall. Oh, please don't ask me questions. Please don't torment me. Just help me hide until I have time to think things out.
Well, how fast can you think, lady? Because I can't make you my career, you know. I'm in the taxi business and you're holding up traffic.
Well, I'll make it good with you. Really, I will.
Well, if it's a business proposition, I guess the Fletcher credit's pretty good. Okay, sold.
Will you promise me one thing?
Yeah, what?
Don't say anything about me to your newspaper friends.
All right. Now let's see what we're going to do with you. You're a handful and dynamite that getup. Your old man will be scouring the town for you, and he won't have to do much scouring to find a lost gal in a wedding dress.
Well, couldn't you hide me somewhere?
Now listen, while I'm sitting here chewing the rag with you, my cab's losing money. You said this was a business proposition. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. How about $20 in advance?
Oh, I haven't $20. I left in such a hurry, I didn't even take a purse.
You're getting more and more of a load.
But as soon as this whole mess is over, Father will fix it up with you.
$50?
Yes, 50.
Maybe I should have asked for 60.
Well, now that that's settled, please think of some place where I can go.
Well, now let's see. I could take you to my place. Plus fix it up a bit, you know. You'd be safe there. Of course, it isn't the Waldorf. It'd probably be slumming for a dame like you, but you got to take it for what it is, see? I won't stand for any ritzing. No walking around with that aristocratic nose of yours up in the air. Out you go. By tomorrow, you better figure out what you're going to do, because hot or cold, you're getting out of there. I've just got one idea in my mind right now, and that's to get you off my hands. Do I make myself clear? Check. Here it is. Home sweet home. But remember, you're just a transient. How do you like my antiques? I picked them up on my journeys around the world. Now take this little chair. Would you believe this dates back to Catherine of Russia?
Oh, yes.
Well, it don't. It came straight from a second-hand shop on 14th Street. See that picture? That's my grandfather. A real aristocrat. That's a costume he wore to a fancy dress ball at the Vanderbilts gave.
Oh.
You don't mind if I make myself to home in my home, do you? I always slip off my coat, kick off my shoes as soon as I get in. Mind bringing me my slippers?
What?
Go on, go on. I just feel like being waited on by a Fletcher.
Well, you're not going to be waited on by this Fletcher. Hey, what are you...
Oh, thief. There it is, Fletcher.
What are you doing?
Calling up your own man and telling him you won't get my slippers.
Oh, no, no. No, I'll bring them. Where are they?
Over there in the closet. Ouch!
There.
Thanks. Matches, please.
Get your own matches.
Foo. Thanks. What are you going to do, stand up all night? I won't charge any more for board and lodging if you sit down. Sit down. Say, would you take off that dress? That bride's outfit gives me the willies.
Nevertheless, I'm keeping it on.
Now, don't get me wrong, sister. I don't mean I want you to go around here posing in lingerie. Well, you can have my robe. I'm just tired of all that G-Joe and lace.
I think I look very nice in it.
Oh, you do, huh? Let's see what your father thinks about it.
Oh, where's your robe?
In the closet. Oh, I haven't had an evening at home like this in years. It's swell. Certainly better than cruising around picking up fares. Got my pipe, my slippers. What more could any fella ask for?
I'm glad something pleases you.
Now, that's more like it. Nice weather we're having.
I think it's a little chilly, especially in here.
That's meant for a dirty dig. I got a tough skin, sister.
I hate to be called sister.
Okay, sister, anything you say.
Why do you have to be so nasty about everything? You're going to get paid for what you're doing, so you might just as well be pleasant about it.
Who says I'm not pleasant? Haven't I given you coffee? Haven't I promised to help you? Aren't you sharing my home? Wearing my robe. If that isn't being pleasant, I don't know what is.
All right, you're pleasant.
Say, have I got to ask you to sit down again? If my talk's boring you, maybe we can find a game to pass away the time. Play cribbage?
Yes, I do.
Too bad, I don't.
How do you usually spend your evenings?
Cruising? I'm on the job day and night. You know, it takes a lot of fares to save up enough dough to buy a fleet of taxi cabs.
You mean you own more than just the one?
Well, not yet, but I will. Say, if my plans go through, I'll have 6 of them working for me.
Oh, I see. You'll be the boss, admiral of the fleet.
All right. Kid about it. The figures don't lie. Look here. See that? My bank book. $1,005.67.
Well, well, that ought to give you enough for a whole flotilla.
I'll let you know about it. This isn't even enough for a down payment. Listen, I got a chance to get 6 swell rebuilds, see? Fresh paint jobs, complete reupholstering, modern equipment, installed radios. But I got to put $1,500 on the line, and the rest in easy payments, of course.
You'd take less.
You think so?
I know so.
You do, huh?
Sure, they always take less. That's just the asking price.
That shows a lot you know about business. The asking price was $1,750. I finally got it down to $1,500. I'm afraid he's going to sell before I can get my hands on that dough.
Why don't you offer him what you got and see what he says, huh?
Say, listen, you can't work out your own troubles. Don't try to work out mine. No dame's going to tell me how to run my taxi cabs.
But they're not your taxi cabs. Are you going to read and leave me here doing nothing?
You can read, too. Hey, wake up so you can go to bed.
Well, where are you going?
Me? Nowhere.
Well, if I'm to sleep here, you've got to go to some hotel for the night.
Yeah, who says so? Say, this is my home. And if I'm cuckoo enough to accommodate you, you got to make the best of the bargain.
I don't think you understand.
So begging your pardon, sister. And begging your pardon for saying pardon, I don't think you understand. There's room for both of us here. One of us takes the bed, the other takes the couch. The screen makes it a perfect guest room.
But I hate to deprive you of your bed.
Oh, you're not depriving me of anything. Because you're taking the couch.
Whatever you say, brother.
You might need these.
Thanks.
Got everything you want? Because there's no more room service after I once hit the hay.
Everything's fine, thank you.
First thing tomorrow, I'm going out shopping for you. Going to get you some new duds. So that when I throw you out, that Here Comes the Bride outfit won't give you away. And when you get back to your old man and all is forgiven, you can send me a check in full, okay?
You're the boss, brother.
Don't call me brother.
All right, brother. I'll do you that little favor. 'Cause you're being awfully decent to me.
You think so?
I know so.
You do, huh? Well, good night.
Good night.
Say, that hurts.
How could a little tap hurt the iron jaw?
Yeah, but that wasn't my jaw. Open the door for Santa Claus.
Why, Santa. Without your beard, you look like Jimmy Donlin.
What I just done for you, I wouldn't do again for any dame in the world. I've been out all morning answering questions from nosy salespeople. Was you thin? Was you fat? The size of your waistline? Would you like something in tan or blue? Ah, I should care. Just so long as it's something you can get into and out.
Jimmy, I'm never going to forget what you've done for me.
Neither am I.
It's adorable. Oh. Jimmy.
Hey, Nix, now cut it out.
Why, you're an old meanie. No other fellow ever objected to my kissing you.
Yeah, what do you want me to do? Handspring? Just because the rich Miss Fletcher smeared some lipstick on my cheek? Say, listen, my little white elephant. Do you think one kiss is going to make me forget what a bother you are?
I'm sorry I did it. It didn't mean a thing. I was just being grateful. Oh, I almost forgot.
Say, hope that tastes as good as it smells.
I'm the best little coffee maker in America.
Did they teach those things at Mrs. Finkelheimer's finishing school?
They do teach good manners.
Yeah? Say, that's all right. You know, I'm sort of glad I mentioned that. It's been a great lesson. Teaches me how the other half lives.
Kind of opened my eyes, too.
Yeah, you'll have a lot to tell Park Avenue when you get back. You met one of the great unwashed who didn't eat his peas with his knife. When are you clearing out?
I'd like to stay here another day if I could.
Say, listen, I got to pick up my best customer in an hour. I can't sit around all day waiting for you to make up your mind to go home.
Oh, you don't have to sit around. Just let me stay. You won't be sorry, I promise. I'll even make myself useful. I'll tidy up the place.
It's all right the way it is.
But I can stay.
All right.
Oh, Judy.
But never mind showing me how grateful you are. Sorry, I'm hired.
I don't want a cab. I'm just looking for some information. Were you around here yesterday?
Yeah.
Happened to see a bride that seemed to be in a hurry?
I saw a lot of people in a hurry. Some of them may have been brides. I don't know.
This one had a wedding dress on.
Supposing I seen her, what's it to you?
I'm from headquarters. Just answer what you're asked.
Yeah, what am I asked?
Did you see this girl or didn't you?
No, I didn't.
She come out that door. She must have hopped a cab.
Well, maybe she did. But there are 11,192 other cabs in New York.
Thanks.
It's all right.
Yes?
Is Mr. Donald in?
He's out right now.
Well, tell him that Mr. Andrews called. It's about those cabs that he's thinking of buying.
Oh, yes, well, oh, yes, I have a message for you. Won't you come up?
Yes, all right. How do you do?
Won't you come in and sit down?
Thank you.
I'm Jimmy Dolan's sister.
Oh.
You see, my brother and I are partners, although he's been handling all the negotiations up to now.
Well, he's a very lucky man to have such a pretty sister and such a charming partner.
Oh, Mr. Andrews, I'm afraid you're flattering me.
No, not at all. If I had my way, I wouldn't deal with anyone but his partner.
Then this is your lucky day. You can have your way. Jimmy's leaving the matter entirely in my hands.
Oh, well, and I'm sure that we'll have no trouble closing the deal. It's a bargain at the price I quoted. I'm sure you'll agree with me.
We've saved up a little over $1,000, Mr. Andrews. More than 500 of that is mine. And as much as I love Jimmy and want to see him get ahead, what we have is plenty for a down payment.
But, my
I
dear-
won't allow him to put in a cent more.
Here we are, Jimmy.
Where to, Mr. Clifton?
Rennie.
What?
To a justice of the peace. You and I are going to be witnesses to a wedding.
Well, it's Jake with me as long as I'm just a witness.
My friends are pulling what you would call a fast one. So remember, you see nothing, you hear nothing, you say nothing.
More tea?
Thanks. Like some more of these cookies, too, if you don't mind. Hey, you're a swell cook.
I'm glad I cooked so many.
That's just fine. Thank you.
Well, what are we going to do about the deal?
We're going to do the deal just your way, little girl. $1,000 down.
Oh, Jimmy will be so pleased.
I am about to unite you in the holy bonds of matrimony. You, Count Potowski, and you, Edna Fletcher, to have and to...
Who? Did you say Edna Fletcher?
Edna Fletcher.
Say, you'll have to hold this wedding without me. I've got a very important matter to attend to.
Well, never again.
Well, how do I look in this suit?
You look just about ready to be kicked out of here.
But you told me I could stay.
And now I say you're going. I don't know what your game is, sister, but from now on it's going to be solitaire. And you're taking off those clothes unless you can pay me cash on the line.
Listen, please, as soon as I see my father...
Ah, don't give me any more of that hooey. If you're Edna Fletcher, I'm Mahatma Gandhi. You know where I've just been?
No.
Attending a wedding. Count Pulowski, or whatever his name is, and Miss Fletcher. Oh, I was a sap to believe you in the first place.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry.
You're awfully sorry. What about me? Falling for your line like an umpche. Spending my good money on clothes for you.
You'll get every cent back, honest, out of my savings account.
Yeah, now I'll tell one. Come on, sister, what's this all about? And don't give me no fairy tales. What's your name and who are you?
Please don't get so excited. I'll tell you the truth. Oh, I better get a needle and thread.
Never mind a needle and thread.
Where did I put that?
Top kitchen a drawer.
Oh, yes, of course. That's right.
Now, you spill that story and spill it fast, see?
I can tell it just as fast while I'm sewing. Give me your coat.
What's the idea?
Are you going to give me your coat, or do you want to wear it without that button?
Yeah. Now, all I know about you is you're a runaway bride, see?
I'm not a bride.
Oh, you were just wearing those clothes for fun, huh?
No, for business. I'm a model. And that bridal gown you saw, I was modeling it for Miss Fletcher.
I should have known you was no Park Avenue dame the way you cooked that coffee.
Yesterday afternoon, just before you saw me, I'd gone to Miss Fletcher's apartment. I told her I was Mary Trenton from Corinne's gown shop. She showed me into a room where I changed from my street clothes into the bridal costume you saw. How you were threading a needle. Here, try. Where were we?
You was getting into a bride's costume, and I'm waiting for a streetcar.
Well, I came into the living room to model the dress for Miss Fletcher. The room was full of friends, drinking cocktails and looking at wedding presents she had already received.
There.
But suddenly there was a commotion. A valuable pearl necklace, a gift of the Count to his bride, had disappeared from its case. And when it was found that the necklace had been in the room where I changed into the bridal gown, I was accused of stealing it.
What did you do? Just stand there and take it on the chin?
Well, I was so terrified I didn't know what to say. And then the next thing I knew, Miss Fletcher's mother was telephoning for the police. I pictured all sorts of horrible things. 3rd degree, jail. Well, while all this commotion and phoning was going on, I made a bolt for the servants' entrance. I ran down the stairs, through the lobby, and that's when I met you.
Why didn't you tell me all this before?
Because I was scared. I didn't know if I could trust you. But now I'm sure I can.
You think so?
I know so.
You do, huh? If you didn't steal the necklace, what made you run away?
Because the police were coming. I was afraid to face them. Well, I was in such a panic, I didn't stop to think.
And you didn't think to stop? If you hadn't run away, the police wouldn't have had anything on you.
There. Isn't that better?
Now listen, don't get me off the subject. I'm not getting mixed up in no robberies. The cops are friends of mine, and I like them. And no dizzy dame's going to come between us.
You're a great help.
Well, why should I be? What are you in my life? Well, I should be out picking up fares. Instead, I'm listening to a hard luck story, and you're not going to get in my hair.
So you're throwing me out?
Yep.
You're just a heartless brute. You're right. Out of 10,000 taxi drivers, why did I have to pick you?
Oh, well, I didn't mean that you had to go this minute. You can sit there and relax a while.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. We had a visitor today.
Huh?
We had a visitor. Mr. Andrews called.
Where do you get this wee stuff? When's he coming back?
He's not coming back. You're to call him.
Oh.
You know, I think if you handle him right, we could get those cabs for $1,000 down.
We can. So what have you been doing, poking your nose in my business?
Well, if that's the way you feel about it, pay him the $1,500. But he'll take 1,000.
How do you know?
Well, ring him and find out.
Yeah, you bet I'll ring him. I'm going to tell him you had no right butting in. I'm perfectly capable of handling my own affairs. All the nerve. What are you trying to do, make a sap out of me? You'll have that Andrews believing you're leading me round by the nose. You probably queered the deal. And if you did... Oh, hello, Mr. Andrews. Jimmy Donlin.
Oh, I'm glad you called. Your sister and I just had a nice chat.
Yeah. Yeah, she was telling me. I rang you up to explain.
Oh, now it's not necessary to explain. After all, business is business. And if 1,000 is all you can manage, 1,000 it is.
Yeah, that's what I was telling my sister. I told her that that was all I was going to pay. Well, I told you all along I thought 1,500 was too much, but since you're willing to meet my offer of 1,000, why, I think we can do business. Yeah. I'll be down in the morning, sign the papers. Oh, you gotta know how to talk to these birds. I knew he'd take 1,000 all the time. Well, you sure brought me luck. I'll have to see if I can't do as much for you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, anyway, I'll get you off my hands so I can give a little time to my own business. Say, first thing I gotta do is get rid of Exhibit A.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna pack it up and throw it in the river. Say, you've been lying to me again, huh?
I don't know how it got there. Honest, I don't.
Yeah, you can tell that to the cops. No double-crossing dames taking me for a ride. I'm taking you down to headquarters while my nose is still
Oh,
clean.
you wouldn't do that. You couldn't. You've been so wonderful to me. You're not going to let me down now.
What do you think I'm going to do? Keep you hiding here? Maybe you think I'm giving up the taxi business and just be your nurse until the cops track you down. Then stand trial with you and maybe get a nice little cell near you for 8 or 10 years.
Oh, stop it, please. You don't think they'd do that to me?
Do what?
Put me in a cell and make me stay there.
Why didn't you think of that before you cut these pearls?
I'm not going to stand here and have you call me a thief. You better take that back or I'll slap your face. You should know better.
Yeah, and you should know better.
Don't you believe me?
No.
I don't know how the necklace got there. It must have got caught in a fold of the dress. I was as surprised as you when I saw it just now. Oh, listen. Do you think if I really stole it, I'd leave it hanging around careless like that? Why, if I was a thief, I'd have hidden it, even from you.
Well, stop it, will you? You'll have me believing you soon.
I want you to. You have to. You're the only friend I got. Look. Am I lying? I never stole that necklace. I never stole it. I couldn't do a thing like that.
Stop it, will you? I gotta think.
You're going to help me. I'm sure you are.
Do you think so?
I know so.
You do, huh? Well, you got another think coming.
Who's that?
Might be a cop.
Well, what are you doing, playing peekaboo? I saw Specs Callahan driving Clifton around. I was wondering whether he was sick or something. I was kind of worried. Oh. Well, if I would have known that, I would
It's
have...
not what you think at all, pal. This little lady's got a sad story.
Oh, Jimmy, you're not really going to tell him.
It's all right, he can know. She's my sister from upstate. Mary, this is Fingers.
Pleased to meet you.
How do you do, Mr. Fingers?
I never knew you had a sister.
You never knew I had a mole under my left arm, so what?
It's okay with me. You can have a sister.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Well, what's the sad story if it ain't too gruesome?
Well, you see, my brother-in-law's a wife beater, and Sis thought you better hide out with me here for a couple of weeks. Anything else you want to know?
Yeah. Has she got another sister? I knew all along you weren't a brother. You didn't look fraternal.
What do you mean?
Well, you look like it was springtime in the Bronx, sort of gaga. Like you was walking on air with your feet in a sling.
Ah, that dame don't mean a thing to me.
No? Then why don't you tell her to pack a wedding dress and blow? She don't mean a thing to you. Then why are you stewing about the necklace? Why are you worrying about hiding her from the cops? She don't mean a thing to you. Nah, no more than you're right. Well, you left eye.
I only met her yesterday, you lug. And besides, I told her where she gets off. But she's so helpless, Fingers. Gosh, if I turn around now, she's liable to be railroaded up the river for something she didn't do.
How do you know she didn't?
Because dames don't fool me. I knew she was on the level the minute I laid eyes on her.
It's okay with me. When you said she was your sister, she was your sister. If you say she's on the level, she's on the level.
Say, Fingers, will you do me a big favor?
You mean shut up?
Well, that and something else. That dame and me need your help.
You know me, pal. Anything short of murder. Maybe that for a price.
Well, I want you to take this necklace here. Holy smoke, I had it in his pocket.
No, that one.
Hey, don't go showing that around here, you fool. Put it away. Put it away.
You mean you want me to keep it?
No, I don't want you to keep it. I want you to get rid of it. You see, Fingers, you're the solution. Now, you're going to put that necklace back where it came from.
I'm going to do what?
You're going to put it back in Miss Fletcher's bedroom. And tonight, for once in your life, you're going back to your old tricks.
You mean you want me to slide into the joint?
Sure. Return the pearls, then everything's sewed up pretty, see?
Especially me, if I'm caught.
Oh, you won't be caught. It's for a good cause.
That don't keep them from catching you. Can you imagine that if I get picked up for giving away a pearl necklace?
You mean you're hedging?
Well, I ain't cheering.
Oh, come on, pal. Do this for me, will you?
And she don't mean a thing to you.
Who? Oh. Well, are you with me?
Yeah, if you'll promise to come up and see me on Visitor's Day. I like fudge. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll spend the next couple hours getting a lay of the land. It's the Parkway Arms, ain't it?
Right.
Well, you be there at 10 o'clock with your cab around the side. If everything goes okay, I'll do the job. But you got to be there to give me warning to help me beat it in case anything goes wrong, see?
Now you're talking.
Sure, now I'm talking. Later on, I'll need a lawyer. Hey, Specs, pull up and back and wait your turn.
I'm not cutting in on you. I'm waiting for a regular.
What's the idea?
Oh, you walked out and I walked in.
What do you mean?
I'm driving Mr. Clifton now.
Yes, you are.
Well, stick around and find out. You left him stranded this morning, and he found a clean-cut American youth with steady habits to take your place.
Oh, you're kidding about driving him regular.
Oh, am I?
I'm waiting, Specs.
All right here, Mr. Clifton.
Thank you.
No hard feelings, are there, Mr. Clifton?
I'd rather not discuss it, Jimmy. Just tell me how much I owe you.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, sir. $9.25 to date.
$9.25? Well, here's 10. You can keep the change.
Thank you, sir. That's what you get when a dame comes into your life. Lose your steady customer.
Don't worry, you'll get him back.
Swell chance.
I must have knocked my tire valve off.
Well, I can't wait around until that's fixed.
Taxi, sir?
Oh, all right, Jimmy. It's the Savoy Plaza.
Yes, sir. No hard feelings, are there, Mr. Clifton?
Well, I'm not used to being left high and dry, especially as far away from home as Greenwich.
Well, I know it'll kind of funny, but did you ever have a dame come in and upset your life?
Oh, so that's the reason, eh? Cherchez la femme.
Yeah, that's right. You mean a dame, you said it. Mr. Clifton, I'm not going to lose the best fare I got because of a skirt, so I'm going to tell you just what happened. Only you got to promise to keep it confidential between us.
Well, I promise you won't be quoted.
Well, it all started yesterday after I dropped you at the Parkway Arms. Well, you see what a jam this dame's got me in it.
Well, after that story, Jimmy, all is forgiven. In this hard-boiled age, a gallant knight who is ready to help his lady fair is something to be put down in the book.
You don't think I was doing wrong then, huh?
I'm quite sure you were doing wrong, but that's what gives zest to it.
You see, Mr. Clifton, if Fingers could put back the necklace without being caught, and Miss Fletcher could find it lying around, you know, kind of careless-like, then I could get rid of the dame and get off the merry-go-round.
Well, there seems to be several ifs. The plan of Fingers breaking into Milady's boudoir is a little wild.
Yeah, but I gotta get the necklace back to her, don't I?
Well, I'll say you do. Because, well, I happened to be in the Fletcher apartment right after your Mary, what's-her-name, made her getaway. And they all seemed very much upset about the incident.
They did, huh? Say, I've got an idea. Why not tell them the truth? Why not tell them just what I told you?
Oh, no.
Well, then I could call off Fingers and you could return the necklace.
Yes, I could, but knowing the Fletchers as I do, well, they wouldn't be as gullible and as charitable as you've been.
Oh, you mean they might turn her over to the cops, huh?
Very likely, yeah.
Well, I guess it's up to Fingers.
Now, I've got an idea. Knighthood is certainly flowering again when it can make an old codger like me come out of his shell.
And Mary, well, Mr. Clifton said he'd return the pearls himself. He could have knocked me over with a cream puff. Is he a swell guy?
Oh, it's wonderful, Jimmy. I don't know why he's doing it for me.
He isn't doing it for you. He's doing it for me. Because he wants to see me my old self again. The same old Jimmy with that happy, carefree smile. Before you came along. Well, are you there? Well, why don't you say something then?
Just because I'm a lady. And ladies can't say what I'm thinking. Well, as soon as he's done this for you, I'll be leaving.
Well, I gotta pick up Mr. Clifton again in a few minutes, see? Then we're gonna keep my date with Fingers. And will he be glad to know the job is off? And then I'm gonna slip the pearls to Mr. Clifton from Fingers, see? And the first chance he gets, he calls on the Fletchers, puts the junk under a cushion or something. They find it, apologize to you, you apologize to me. But just apologize, see? Never mind showing me how grateful you are.
Jimmy, why don't you bring Mr. Clifton and Mr. Fingers home with you? I'm sort of lonesome up here all alone.
Oh, gee, that's too bad. Maybe I should have had some of the neighbors in to meet you and play bridge.
Look, tell Mr. Clifton and Mr. Fingers we'll have a nice midnight spaghetti supper.
Yeah? No spaghetti. You can't seem to get it through that dizzy dome of yours that I drive a taxi for a living. I'll be out all night cruising, see? Besides, who wants to eat spaghetti?
It's about time. I was getting the jitters standing around waiting for you.
My fault, old man. Jimmy had to pick me up first. I was pounding out copy. It took me longer than I thought.
Pardon me. Jimmy.
Yeah?
Have you gone batty? What's the idea of bringing along an audience?
Oh, that's all right. Mr. Clifton's going to help us.
And what's the idea of having me break my neck to return a string of phony pearls?
What?
Paste pearls.
How do you know they're phony?
Because they are phony, that's all.
Ah, do you think a girl would go through what Mary has over a string of imitation pearls? Where do you get that idea?
I don't know anything about that, the maid. I don't know what she's thinking or what she's doing. But the story sounded pretty screwy to me, and I had the jewels appraised. And they're phony. Now, do you want me to return a string of 5 and 10 cent pearls to Miss Fletcher and maybe go up the river for it? Or will you pick up your marbles and quit kidding?
Wait a minute. Let me think.
You stop thinking the minute that dame shoved the tootsies into your cab.
Hey, wait a minute, boy. I know all the answers. How do I know you didn't swap those pearls? Maybe the temptation was too strong for you to go straight.
You think I switched the phony ones for the real ones, huh?
Why not? It's been done, hasn't it?
You're asking for a healthy suck and a kisser. You don't think I'd double-cross a pal, do you?
Sorry, Fingers. I'm just a little excited. That dame's got me doing nip-ups.
Say, that would have been a good idea, swapping those pearls. I never even thought of it. I must be slipping. But it wouldn't have done any good anyway, because they weren't the real McCoy.
Pardon me, boys, but when do I come to your party?
I'm sorry, Mr. Clifton. I forgot all about you. Jimmy's got me dizzy. He says those pearls are imitation.
Well, imitation?
Yeah.
Well, I can't believe it. I should like to look at them, if you don't mind.
Yeah, give them a look.
They're nestling in your pocket.
My Well, now, that's very clever. You know, I happened to be at Carpentier's when Count Potowski was shopping for the real string. He showed them to me. Why, you can't tell the difference. Are you sure they're imitation?
I know. Mike the Fence wouldn't give me a nickel on them.
Huh?
Well, now, this new turn of events obviously calls for a conference, and clearly this is not the place for it.
Say, let's all go up to my apartment, huh? You know, Mary cooks the swellest spaghetti. Boy, it'll melt in your mouth. Some spaghetti.
It'll do. Delicious.
Thanks. That's what my boyfriend always tells me.
Boyfriend?
He goes into raves about it every time I cook it for him.
You didn't tell me you had a boyfriend.
There's a lot of things about it you don't know.
Oh, any objections to my boyfriend?
I should care.
Well, now that that's settled, suppose we get back to enjoying the spaghetti.
Only reason I'm interested makes me wonder, why didn't you go to him when you were in trouble?
Couldn't.
Fine kind of guy he is.
I'm not going to have you insulting him, Jimmy Dornman. They don't come any finer.
Then why isn't he here by your side when you need him?
I wish he were.
Yeah, so do I.
Me too. Well, that makes it unanimous.
You know, I think I'll call him up and have him take you off my hands. What's his number?
If that's the way you feel about it, I'll get him.
Okay, there's the phone. Go ahead. Fine kind of a guy.
Hello, long distance?
Hey, wait a minute. Where are you calling him?
San Francisco. He's a sergeant major, and he's stationed at the Presidio.
Oh, no, you don't. Not on my door, you don't. Never mind, operator. San Francisco.
You mind if we get down to the business of the meeting?
Shoot.
We're here to consider the case of Mary Trenton. What to do about the necklace, and how to keep her out of the clutches of the law. The plan that I should return the necklace to the Fletchers, dropping it nonchalantly behind a cushion when no one is looking, is out. Because when the time should come, when the Fletchers find that the so-called pearls are just paste, Mary is in as bad a predicament as ever.
Don't worry, kid. I know the warden at Sing Sing pretty well. I'll give you a letter to him. Why, he and I were like that.
I'm still puzzled about the switching of the real necklace for the imitation. Just when did it happen? Say, it might have been the Count himself. I've heard about those no-account counts.
Say, it might have been the Count. He might have been part of...
No, not Count Patowski. But just to be sure, I'll check with Carpentiers in the morning and tell them that I'm covering the theft story. But you can wager your bottom dollar it wasn't the Count, no.
Oh, it wasn't the Count.
Nah, it wasn't the Count. You looking for this?
Well, thank you.
Say, who's been monkeying with my pipes?
You see, that's what I get. Your pipes were dirty, filthy, so I just used a little soap and water.
So you just used a little soap and water.
Now, and suppose we get back to the case of the unmarried bride. Would you mind telling us everything that happened after you were accused of stealing the pearls?
Well, Miss Fletcher's mother started telephoning for the police.
And that's when Mary made a getaway down the servant's entrance, see?
You must have worked fast. How is it no one didn't stop you?
They would have, I suppose, if it hadn't been for Mr. Stewart.
Stewart? Who's he?
A man there whom I happen to know.
Say, you know him from all over, don't you? From the Presidio to Park Avenue.
Do you mean Arnold Stewart?
Yes, Arnold.
Oh, Arnold, huh? You call him by his first name.
Well, what girl doesn't? He's one of those wealthy playboys who hangs around gown shops with Follies girls.
Yes, that's how I met him, in the gown shop. Once, a long time ago, he got interested in me. Object, not matrimony.
I read something like that once in Breezy's stories.
And he helped you get away?
Yes, he showed me the way to the servants' entrance, and then he stood guard there till I got away.
Why didn't you tell me all this before?
Because I was scared. I didn't know if I could trust you. But now I'm sure I can.
Oh, you think so?
I know so.
You do, huh? Well, any dame that knows as many guys as you don't need me to help him.
But I do. Mr. Stewart's not really a friend of mine.
Then why did he help you get away?
You know, that is a question. Knowing the gentleman as I do, he's one of the last people in the world to give anyone a helping hand.
Now, here's the way I see it. Whoever switched the necklace must have known what the real one looked like because the phony is such a good imitation, see? So it must be somebody near Miss Fletcher or the Count.
He's building up a terrific case against you.
But supposing, for the moment, that it wasn't I, who's the next best guess?
I've got an idea.
You think so?
I know so.
You do, huh?
I nominate Mr. Stewart as our public enemy #1.
You mean the guy that helped you get away?
The guy that helped me get away. He was too good to be true.
I say, that's the first piece we've had that seems to fit our jigsaw puzzle. From what you've told us, Arnold Stewart once tried to make the grade with you and failed, right? His natural reaction to your rebuff was a grudge and a peeve. So why should he help you?
He had a reason. Is that what you mean?
Plenty of reasons.
Boy paged Mr. Stewart in a pair of
Now,
handcuffs.
here's his story. Crooked dealers on the stock exchange busted him recently, and he was exposed. But he's still taken in by our best families because of the fact that he dates back to the Mayflower. It makes him one of the upper crust.
Sure, I get it. They're the upper and he's the crust.
Now let's see if 2 and 2 will make 4. Arnold Stewart is not broke, is badly bent. He's a close friend of the Fletchers, constantly in their home. He sees the necklace, is impressed with its worth.
So he plans to snatch it and cash in on it.
The dirty crook.
But he is also smart. He mentally photographs the picture of the necklace and has an imitation made. He takes it to the Fletcher apartment for the purpose of making a switch.
I remember now. While he was helping me get away, he put his arm around me. That's how he managed to hook the clasp of the necklace onto my gown.
And all the cards played right into Stewart's hand. You see, his original scheme didn't involve Mary at all. He was merely going to exchange the necklaces, knowing that the switch wouldn't be discovered for some time, if ever.
Then I came along. What am I going to do? It's a perfect frame-up, but how can I get out of it?
Oh, don't worry, kid.
Heaven will protect the waking girl.
Well, we'll have to be more practical than that. I'm afraid it's up to us.
Yeah, I think we ought to wire that gink at the Presidio. Let him worry. After all, how do we know Stewart's got the necklace? We're just guessing.
But there must be some way to find out.
By Jove, I believe I have an idea. Do you mind if I use your phone?
Go ahead, but no long distance.
Mr. Stewart's apartment, please. Hello, Mr. Stewart. This is Roger Clifton.
Oh, hello, Roger. How are you?
I wondered if you'd mind if I drop over for a minute. A little story for the paper I'd like to check with you.
I guess it'll be all right this time. But really, Roger, I'm thinking of cutting out this sort of thing. Much as I welcome your checks, it's rather low to give information on your friends.
Well, just this once, okay? Good. Well, I can't understand it. He doesn't want my checks anymore. He always welcomed them until now. Well, maybe he's found a new source of income. We've guessed better than we thought. You see, I suspect that your necklace is in Mr. Stewart's apartment because, well, he isn't going to try to get rid of it while the police are on the case. So, you tell him that you're driving by in a taxi cab in a few minutes and you want him to meet you in front of his house.
Oh, sounds awfully risky to me.
Don't worry, kid. I'll be driving.
Yeah. Now, you get him in the taxi pretending that's the only place to talk in safety. While you go cruising around Manhattan, you keep stalling. That'll give Fingers and me a chance to search the apartment.
You and me?
Certainly. If my horse was sick, I'd send for a veterinarian, and I need your expert services. Now then, I hope you all understand the part you have to play. Now, you're to phone me at Stewart's apartment, say, at midnight. Understand? Now, pardon me, may I have a nut?
Well, I don't mind giving you the information just this once, but I'm out of the scandal-mongering racket.
Oh, I understand your feelings. Many thanks.
Brandy before you go?
Well, I never refused one yet.
Pardon me. Hello? Yeah, this is Mr. Stewart speaking.
Well, this is Mary Trenton. Yes. I'd like to see you right away. Look, if I drive by in a taxi, could you be waiting outside?
Yes, I suppose I could. All right. You'll be by right away.
You don't know how I'll appreciate this, Mr. Stewart. Thanks, awfully. Goodbye. Well, so far, so good.
Yeah. We don't all land in jail.
Oh, a rather important date suddenly came up. You'll pardon me if I dress.
Well, certainly.
Please help yourself to the brandy. And after the brandy, would you mind slamming yourself out? It might be rather embarrassing if my pretty visitor discovered company when she came here.
Yes, it would be rather embarrassing. I forget about the brandy. Good night and good luck.
Thanks, old man. You're the last person I expected to hear from. I thought this town had swallowed you up.
It's awfully nice of you to see me, Mr. Stewart.
Oh, that's quite all right. How about coming up to my apartment?
Oh, I'd rather go for a drive if you don't mind.
It's a pleasure.
Drive out to Long Island, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, when do we begin?
We'll begin by my telling you that I'll never forget everything you've done for me. I'll always remember the way.
Boy, close the petition, will you?
I'll always remember the way you helped me get out of that awful place when they thought I'd stolen the necklace.
That was nothing, my child.
But since then, Mr. Stewart, something terrible has happened. I went into hiding at a friend's. I thought I'd stay there until the affair blew over and the real thief was found. But when I was taking off the wedding dress, the necklace fell out of it.
The necklace fell out of it? You have it then, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Well?
Well,
What do you want me to do about it?
well, I thought you could find a way of returning it so that nothing would happen to me.
That's rather a big order. Let me think about it a little while. In the meantime, you just rest your pretty head here and relax. You poor darling.
Just like old times. If it's here, I'll find it.
You've been awfully sweet to me, Mr. Stewart.
Arnold.
You've been awfully sweet to me, Arnold. I don't know why you should put yourself in danger just to help a girl like me.
Well, after all, it isn't every day that a man has a chance to aid a beautiful maiden in distress. And you are beautiful.
Please, Mr. Stewart, please.
I thought you wanted me to help you.
I do, you know I do. And you've been terribly kind, but
Don't be so silly.
if this is the way you... I don't want your help.
Well, now at least we understand one another.
It ain't here. I think I'll go into the bedroom. And incidentally, my bedroom technique is something to observe.
Supposing I try the kitchen. It might even be in the refrigerator.
Certainly, hidden in a string of olives.
Oh.
It might be anywhere, but I got an awful hunch it ain't.
Thanks, Pollyanna.
I was foolish to want to help you in the first place. Why should I become involved in this affair? Why should I rescue a thief from the police?
But I'm no thief. I never saw the necklace in my life until it fell on the floor when I was taking off that dress.
You think you can make a judge believe that?
Oh, I know it looks awfully black for me, but that's why I wanted to see you, to ask what you think I should do.
Oh, my dear, there is a limit to everything.
But don't you see, I really didn't steal it. And all I want you to do is to take it and fix things so that the Fletchers will find it. So that they'll think it was accidentally mislaid. Can't you do that for me? Can't you?
I'm afraid the only course left open for you is to give yourself over to the police.
I can't do that.
No? Drive to the nearest police station.
No!
You heard me. The nearest police station.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what are you doing?
matter? You tell me. I'll have to look at the motor. This'll take a long time to fix.
So listen, old man. This lady's wanted for stealing a very valuable necklace.
Yeah?
Now, I'm taking no chances. I'm going up the road to phone for the police. It's your duty to hold her here. You understand?
Wait a minute. You're not phoning for any police.
I'm afraid you don't gather the seriousness.
I'm afraid you don't gather what I'm saying. You're not phoning for any police.
If that's the way you feel about it, I'll take your license number. I'll report you.
No, you won't.
Jimmy, do you know what you've done?
Yeah, I hit him.
But this won't help anything. Now you've gotten yourself into it.
Well, it was the only thing I could think of on the spur of the moment.
He's hurt. He's out cold.
Yeah, and you should be, too, for mixing up with a guy like that.
Jimmy, I think his head hit the curb. Now, what are you going to do?
I've been asking myself that question ever since you came into my life.
You shouldn't have hit him.
You're right. I should have handed you over to the cops.
Well, now what are you doing?
Getting him back in the cab. The guy's liable to catch cold out here.
Did you find it? The necklace ain't here.
Well, that does complicate things. Are you sure you didn't slip up anywhere?
Say, if that necklace was here, I'd smell it.
Yes, I dare say.
Any signs of life?
Just as cold as when you knocked him out. Jimmy. I'm scared. What if he should die?
You can think of the nicest things. And they all lived happily ever after. Me and the jug for manslaughter, you and the stir for theft, and Mr. Clifton and Fingers doing time right beside us for aiding and abetting, or whatever it is.
I should never have let you do this.
Fine time to think of that. All we gotta do is get this guy home now and pray. Say, supposing Stewart didn't steal the pearls. Supposing Mr. Clifton and Fingers can't find them. Are we sitting on a keg of dynamite?
There's only one thing for me to do, Jimmy. As soon as we get Mr. Stewart safely home, I'm going to the police and take the blame for everything.
That'll be a fine idea. They're sure to believe that your little fist hit him on the button and knocked him cold.
Oh, I shouldn't have mixed you up in this.
That's what I've been trying to tell you right along.
Everything you've called me wasn't enough. I've been selfish, detestable. Why you've stood for me this long, I'll never know. You've been grand, Jimmy. Too grand.
Oh, you think so?
I know so.
You do, huh? He's in the cab. He had a little too much to drink and got in a fight.
Never saw him that way before.
Well, you're seeing him that way now.
Shall I call a doctor?
Oh, no, I'll do that. Just help the boy get him up to his apartment.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. The boy can handle him now.
Is there anything I can do?
No, not a thing.
Say, what is all this?
More trouble. It was a case of Mary being handed over to the police or this.
Now we are in a jam. No necklace and this mummy on our hands.
Didn't you find it?
No. All of you clear out of here. I'll get this guy to bed. There's no need of all of us standing here and taking the blame for it.
Well, what'll happen to you?
Oh, nothing worse than a short rap for assault and battery. While they're putting the screws on me, you can all get away.
Do you think I'd let you do a thing like that? It's all my fault. And if someone has to be the goat, it ought to be me.
Sure, it ought to be, but it's not going to be. That's settled.
No, Jimmy. It's not settled.
Now everything's settled.
Hey, what's going on here?
It's all my fault. I'm wanted for stealing a necklace, but I didn't steal it. Honest, I didn't. I was framed.
Yeah? But she didn't sock this guy, officer. I did. So you better take me, too.
That'll be a pleasure. You better come along, too. I've seen you at headquarters plenty of times.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, why, a case of mistaken identity, no doubt, officer. My mother has a son who looks like me.
Listen, officer, I can explain.
Yeah, you can all do your explainer to the judge. Come on, get out of here, all of you.
Well, I suppose I should have gotten me.
Hey, this ain't my hat, it's Stewart's.
Ah, come on, get it.
What a happy ending. Ow!
looky!
Thanks.
More spaghetti?
I'm ready to take the count now.
Why do you have a heart?
All right.
And the last thing I heard, the newlyweds were trying to get in touch with Miss Mary Trenton, wherever she might be, to offer her a paltry check for $5,000 for all the worry they'd caused her.
I wish someone would worry me.
And is Mr. Stewart all right now?
Oh, he's doing much too nicely.
But he's in the jailhouse now.
Quiet, quiet! I'm going to try to get long distance.
What for?
I'm going to get that gink at the Presidio for you. You can pay for the call out of that $5,000 check. You know, you're too helpless to be running around loose.
Don't be foolish. I don't know anybody at the Presidio.
What?
I just made that up out of my own head.
But somebody's got to take care of you.
You think so?
I know so.
You do, huh?
Well, am I surprised?
Yeah? Well, I ain't. I knew she'd get a man. In fact, I was so sure I bought Jimmy a little present he'd be needing.
Is this what you're looking for?